Hello, the Imperial Commissary. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day, and as promised, I have come here to tell you a story of woe. Repro. Why is it bad? And a Star Wars story about it. Well, this story starts about 2 weeks ago, and an IC member reaches out to me, and he says, "Man, there's this lady. She has this unbelievable collection. Unfortunately, her husband passed away, and she's stuck with it all, and she needs somebody trustworthy to talk to help her sort through this and figure out what's going on with it." He said it has everything, man. It has Yak face carded, it has Anakin carded, it has this carded, that carded, this carded, that carded. And I was like, great, let me see it. Let me talk to her. We'll figure out a fair deal, and she'll be happy, and we'll work it all out. Well, come to find out, I get some pictures, and in those pictures are things like the Mark Poon Boba Fett. There's things like another fake rocket firing Fett. There's a fake Anakin. There's a fake Yak face. There's a fake Man. There's 60, 70 fake carded figures. And I'm talking to this nice lady. I won't use her real name. We'll call her Joan for the heck of it. And Joan, I was talking to Joan, and I was saying, a lot of these things aren't real, and I'll help you figure out what's real and what's not, so that way you know exactly what you have to sell. Because I'm always willing to help people. I mean, with all the Facebook groups, Imperial Commissary, www.imperialcommissary.com, with all the Facebook groups that are all no repro groups, with the convention that is an all no repro con, and what it means to be no repro is no reproductions. What a reproduction is, what a repro is something that is intended to look as close to the original as possible to fool collectors. Now, the thing is a lot of people call these customs. Now, a custom is not something that can ever be confused for an original. A custom is an original idea that can never, ever, ever be confused for an original figure, vehicle, part, accessory, whatever, bubble, card. And the problem is repro is intended only to rob people. These people that say that repro is okay, repro isn't intended to rob people, repro is just so people can get a piece of their childhood back, that's not what repro is. And the reason why that's not what repro is because you're not getting a piece of your childhood back. You're buying into a system that eventually rips off people. You're making something that eventually rips off people. These repro people have been creating closer and closer to original repro items. They have made them go from ones that sink and ones that have paint on them that you could tell the difference and figure out with an easy system or an easy search on the internet or searching the Imperial Gunnery or something like that. And then they kept making them better. They made the molds look closer to the originals. And then they started coming out with the floating repros. If you remember when they started that a few years ago. They would make the repros float, because a very easy test back in the day used to be to just take water and to just throw in a fake, and the fakes would sink. The fake, like once you get to the stormtrooper blasters and stuff like that, and they would just sink right down to the bottom if they were fake. It was the easiest way to tell. You could walk around with a bottle of water at a toy show, and they would just sink. And so it would be super, super simple to tell. And even those were bad because people did get fooled. I've been fooled. Other IC members, I'm sure, have been fooled. If you've been a collector long enough, you've been fooled by a reproduction. Now, explain to me, why would you continue to make them tougher and tougher to spot? What reason involving nostalgia, or so kids could play with it, or any other reason besides trying to steal from people, what reason would you make them float now? Why would you make repro float? There is no purpose. It doesn't look any closer to the thing for people that are just trying to capture their nostalgia and childhood. All it does now is it floats. Why? Why? Because you can sell more to people who do terrible things and cheat other collectors. Other collectors, you're stealing money for Star Wars toys. What's wrong with you? Give me one valid reason why reproduction items would go from something easy you can do a float test on to stuff you can't tell anymore. To stuff that can pass a float test. To the only way you can tell is by putting it under a microscope and searching very, very carefully on the internet to find out what the most modern repro is they've come out with. Here, let me get these out of here because we're going to destroy all this stuff today. Now, we're going to talk about Joan because we were talking about Joan. And Joan, and we'll call the guy Steve. Now, Steve told Joan for years, Joan, I'm going to buy XYZ, it's very expensive. I'm going to buy this, it's expensive. I bought this, it's super duper cool, and it's in my collection. And in case I ever go, if I'm ever gone, if I ever leave you on this earth, which can happen to any of us on any given day at any given time, and that's a tragedy, but it's a fact. If I'm going to leave you, Joan, there is $250,000 here for you to have a life without me. Now, unfortunately, this fella, he passed away. And this lady was left with all these things, with a $250,000 evaluation for a bunch of fakes, modern fakes. He knew he was buying them recently. So, she goes to somebody like me and I say, I'm so sorry, Joan, and I'm very sorry for your loss. But there's really nothing I can do except teach you what's fake and what's real. So that way you can try to sell it and get as much money as you can, because there is value there. There are some items that aren't fake. The thing is there were a lot more items that were fake than weren't. And that box that I put up, this lead into post, that bin filled with a whole bunch of different carded figures, only two of those carded figures ended up being real. Everything else in that bin was fake. It was a repro. It was a repro she didn't know about. And then what Joan did is Joan comes to me and she goes, well, this one is really, really special. This one he had in a separate case. He told me this is the most important piece in his whole collection, to always keep it, and it was the one that was worth a lot of money. He even showed me an auction where one sold for $160,000 last year. If any of you know what this is, you know it didn't sell for $160,000 last year. This is the good old Mark Poon special rocket-firing Boba Fett. Now, as I'm talking to Joan and I'm explaining how the college education that she wanted and the new life that she wanted and that she thought she had when her husband passed away so young was gone. And the reason why it was gone is because there was so much fake. This is fake. This is fake. This is a fake Mark Poon rocket-firing Fett. And people always say, well, you can tell it's fake. You can tell it's fake. It doesn't have the writing. It doesn't have the peg holes, so you can tell it's fake. Yes, I can tell it's fake. Look at my room. Of course I can tell it's fake. But Joan couldn't. So I'm talking to this poor woman, this poor widow, and what am I doing? I'm being as honest as I can be. So we go through time, and I explain everything that's real, everything that's not real. She goes and she tries to sell it a whole bunch of places, and I try to help her sell it a bunch of places. And then she comes back to me, and she goes, Mike, what will you offer? I paid her way more than I would ever pay for a collection with this much fakes. Why? Because I felt terrible. And it's not my problem. It's the problem of the people who make repro float now. Why do that? Who make card backs that are so close that you can't tell. And I know a lot of them say, well, if you look on the back, you know, you can tell it's fake because we put reproduction right there. You know what? A lot of them don't put reproduction right there, and I wonder where they get these scans to make them look legit. So I have to be the one holding a poor nice lady's hand and explaining to her that her husband lied to her for the past 20 years. Why is that on me? And the reason why is because I'm not going to hang up the phone. I'm not going to walk away. I love this hobby. I hate repro. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that none of these ever get back into the hobby. I have ripped them all off the bubbles. I have all the fake reproduction blasters here, and we're going to chop those up. So hang out as long as you want to hang out. I'm just shredding cards. Look, yak face. I'll tell you what, when we get to some that I have here, I have some actual carded figures here. And when we get to some of the carded figures I do have, we're going to go ahead and switch it over. And we're going to show you what some of them look like. Mark Poon Fets, there is no reason. People say you can tell. You know what? Joan couldn't tell. She couldn't tell. She couldn't tell. And after what I just saw, there is absolutely no reason to put another human being through that. It's terrible. That box is shredded. Here's the Rocket Fett. The fake Rocket Fett. Mark Poon, creator of the fake Rocket Fett, for no purpose except to rip off collectors. There you go. No more Rocket Fett. No more fake Rocket Fett, because we don't do that. Look at this. Fake Yoda. Power of the Force collector's coin. Fake. All the coins were fake. Wicked. Fake. Luke. Fake. Just think of the kind of money that this guy said was in his collection. Look at these cards. They were all mint-on cards. Here. Here, you know what? I got 12 bags of these. Here, let's look. Here, hold on. I have a 12-bag Stormtrooper somewhere. No, I do. 1 minute. Ah, there it is. Legitimate 12-bag Stormtrooper. Fake 12-bag Stormtrooper. Let's see all these obvious tells that these repro manufacturers say they put into their cards. Let's see what's so obvious to a brand new collector. Can you see any difference? Can anyone here see any difference between these two cards? It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. You know how to tell the difference? Because the pop on this one is the wrong pop for a 12-bag. But it says General Mills Food Corporation Star Wars action figures proof of purchase. Look at that. That's what a new collector is supposed to know the difference between. That and that. It's not right. It's not right. Why can't you just write like this? And I'm telling you, you don't need repro. You don't need repro. You just don't. But why can't you just write repro? Write it here. It doesn't mess up the card front you stole. The card front art that you stole, it doesn't mess that up. And you know what some of the repro people, this one's actually an easy tell. Here's an easy tell. Look at this. The punch. See the punch? It doesn't go through. You can't punch it out. The punch is unpunchable. And why do they do it? Why do they do it? Because there's profit in it. Because there's money in it. Because they can have a poor widow thinking that he's not spending the money on drugs or whatever he's throwing away hundreds of thousands of dollars of their retirement fund on, promising that it's $500, $700, $200. It's nonsense, and they make them closer and closer on purpose. Look at this. How is a new collector supposed to tell? Well, we just figured out on these particular ones, they were too lazy to buy a proper hole punch, so the hole punch doesn't go all the way through. Unbelievable. Now look at this. This is how many carded figures. This is how many carded figures. Look at this. This entire collection was garbage. Garbage fakes. Fakes. Look, Vader. I just had one of these. I don't know if I do still. But still, Vader. That's what? A $600 card? Snowtrooper. $400 card? $0. Worthless. Worthless. Some people were saying Barada, there it was. Garbage. It's fake. Death Squad Commander. 12-back Death Squad Commander. I got one of these, I think. I don't know if I do. Boba. Luke. No, I don't. But still, what's that if it's real? $600 card? Gamguard, Power of the Force Gamguard. One of those real? $3,000, $4,000. Walrus Man, $500, $600. Blindfolded, 21-back Walrus Man. $200, AT-AT Commander. Luke Skywalker, 12-back. I have one of these here. Hold on. Oh, I did have a Tusken. Now this one does have ink in the top corner, but still. Can you tell the difference between real and fake? They're both unpunched. Obviously this one has the punch mark that you can see on the other side. You can't tell the difference. Why make it that close? If you're just trying to recapture nostalgia, why make it that close? You're not trying to recapture nostalgia. You're trying to steal money from people that don't know any better. And it's bad. It is bad karma. It's a bad way to act. It's a bad way to be a person. It's all fake. It's so much fake. Here, more 12-backs. Let's see. Ben Kenobi, 12-back, fake. And all these were men on cards. The only reason why I ripped them all off the cards is because I had help when I was camping. My friends were there when I was camping. Here we go. Now we have one where we've gotten one with a punch. Because what the repro people do is they make it better and better and better each time, so that way it can fool more and more people next time. So we thought that the punch was an easy way to tell, right? This one has a punch. How do you tell on this one? Does it say repro anywhere on this? No. It doesn't say repro anywhere. But it's fake. It's fake. And you could tell by the glue. You could tell by the color. Let me see if I have a UV. Here. There's not enough glue left on it. But you can tell. You can see the shine of the glue right there? That fake shine of the glue? It's a fake. But you shouldn't need UV lights to tell fake shine of glue because they've made it better. 48-back. What's that one worth? $200? Garbage. Hammerhead. $300, $400, 21-back Hammerhead? Fake. There you go. One of the most knocked off cards in the history of knockoff cards. Droids Boba Fett. Real Droids Boba Fett. Ain't he beautiful? Fake Droids Boba Fett. You see the differences? I mean, the way the card is cut is how I would notice, personally, but I've seen a lot of Droids Boba Fetts. They aren't usually rounded like that. Sometimes they are, so don't just start throwing them out. But I mean, how do you tell this is a repro? Here, you ready? You ready? Watch this. Which one's repro? And he knew somebody there is saying, did he even know? Did he know they were repro? Yeah, he knew. And do you know how I could tell you he knew? Because he has real stuff too, and because I found a box in this collection that had a stack of card backs that weren't used yet. Let me see if I can find those. Stack of card backs that weren't used yet. And a whole ton of bubbles. And a whole ton of bubbles. Look at this. It's another $1,000. Sorry, Joan. That's $1,000 gone. Another $400 gone, Joan. Because some repro guy back in the day had to steal money. Here you go. There's another $300, $400 gone. I mean, it's going to take a while, folks. Because it's just so much fake. Look, I'm already running out of room in my bucket. Look, it's already filling up my bucket. That's how much repro is in this. Here, let's keep looking. I'm going to take this bucket down, and we're going to start ripping the old-fashioned way because it's just too much work with a bucket. So we're going to make sure that these just don't get in the hands of any other collectors ever, can never rob somebody again, can never leave a widow crying after her husband's death, can never overturn a man posthumously into a terrible person. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be judgmental or whatever, but what a terrible person. How do you tell somebody that you say you love, that you marry, that this is going to take care of them when you're gone? How do you do that? And now some people are saying, you know what, but maybe he did know. Maybe he did know. Dude, if you know, or maybe he didn't know. If you didn't know, you don't go telling your wife, man, that they're $1 million worth of stuff, $150,000 or $250,000 worth of Star Wars stuff. You don't do that. Look at this. Look at this. Dear Kenner customer, this is a really cool thing. You know what? Repro. He made the sticker himself. It's fake. Why? Look, fake. Look at how badly that's printed and how fake that is. Why? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this quote-unquote Boba Fett box. It's obviously an Emperor box. It is a real box. The label is fake, so we'll take off the label. And we'll save the box because it is technically an Emperor box. Not that anybody's ever going to want an Emperor box like this. But I'm just going to take off the label. It's not really coming off too good, but I will eventually. Why? Who are you trying to show off to? Here, look. Another fake. Why?
Is it possible to increase your retirement income by as much as 20%?
Doesn't make sense to me. Look at this one, even has peg holes. This is actually, is this the modern one? This might be the modern one. Let me see. Yes, it is the modern one because it has the numbers on the leg. There you go. Be careful. So that one isn't fake, but it's modern. But still, these were holy grails to her. These were the ones that she didn't want to throw out or didn't want to give away because they were worth way too much money and they were going to be her college, her new college. Here you go. 21 back Boba. Legit 21 back Boba. Fake 21 back Boba. How do you tell? How do you tell as a new collector? You're telling me that the person that made this wasn't trying to steal money from collectors. No way. Once again, I bring you the challenging question. Why make repro float? Why? Explain it. Why make it float? Give me one valid reason that has to do with nostalgia or kids playing with it that you would make repro float. Why? Why upgrade your system to make it float? I challenge anybody out there, any of these repro makers, and I won't mention their names, if they want to make money robbing people off of toys, that's fine by me. But you'll never see them selling in the IC. You will never see them welcomed at the iCCCon. You will never see them anywhere around me or my people. And the reason why is because they steal. They steal from people. And they steal with something we love. We love Star Wars, and they steal with Star Wars. They steal, they steal, they steal, they steal. They are thieves, and then they leave the people crying in their dust, like this poor woman that I spent 2 months talking to about how do you say that? How do you say that? Do you know how hard that was? I'm very sorry, ma'am, and, you know, God rest his soul, but a lot of that is just not valid. A lot of that is just not Lily Letty stuff. Fake. A lot of that is not, and look at that, has a bunch. How do you tell on this one? Look at the card back. It looks like crap. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. But your husband was not honest with you. I'm sorry you have to go it alone. I'm sorry I can only give you the actual value of the junk you have left because I feel bad. Not because it's worth it, not because it's a great wild find, not because I'm going to sell it on my groups and it's going to go into the collecting community, but because somebody has to step up and start getting this crap off the market. And because you don't leave a poor crying widow in a crappy apartment to just live with this. Look. They have been making fakes since forever. This is fake. Let's learn about this. This is one of the most common fakes out there. Common fake. This fake is actually well worth over $100. Well worth over $100, this fake. Even on today's market, even if you say it is the fake one, it is worth $100. You know how to tell if this one's fake? Here, I'll show you. It's actually very easy. You just look at this section right here. One sec. I just make it a little bit smaller and more manageable since it's fake. Now, if you look right here, you see right below Luke Skywalker's belt right there? You see that little tiny line? That's because the dirtbag that faked this many, many years ago was too lazy to wipe down the printer before he scanned it. So there's a hair there. It's a hair that's in all the fakes. There's also another hair on Leia's thigh, and that's probably because he's just a dirty dude that drops hair everywhere and rips off people with reproductions. You see those two hairs? That's how you tell that this many $1,000 poster is a piece of junk fake that somebody made many years ago to try to rob people. So you take it and you throw it away. And the reason why you throw it away here, I gotta fix the here. Actually, this is a good. I'll show you. Some of these some of these repro people, some of these people that create repro, that call it custom even though it's not. Remember, the difference between a custom and a repro is a custom is an original idea that looks nothing like the original. Custom. Repro. Now, some of these repro people, they go, hey, you know what? Repro is good, and you know what, Mike Havens? You are a repro person because your logo is repro. Your Imperial Commissary logo is repro. This is honestly what they make videos about and stuff like that. Millions of hits on YouTube, not really millions of hits, but nonetheless. All right, can everybody that's watching tell the difference between this symbol and that symbol? Do they look somewhat the same? Absolutely. Is anyone ever going to be fooled into buying an Imperial Commissary hat and think it's official Star Wars carded figure? Is anybody out there? Can anybody not see the difference here? So why do I hate repro so much? Besides the fact that you have to talk to poor crying widows about how horrible their husband was. The reason why I hate repro so much is because way back in the day, there was this fella, Andrew Oswick. And now, I'm saying his name only because it's come up a million times. You can search it on Bounty Hunter Forum, whatever. And what happened, even the footers are fake. And what happened is Andrew Oswick, when I first started the IC, reached out to me. And he said, Mike, I know you're no repro. I know you throw out the repro. I know you always burn the repro. I know you're no repro. But I don't have any money. I have no money to spend money on toys. And my son desperately wants some Star Wars stuff. I know you have a bunch of repro you're going to throw out. Could you just send them to me? I promise they won't get back into the market. I promise I will paint them, and I will mark them. And I said no. I said no 50 times. Finally, I say, fine, dude, I'll send them to you. Make sure you paint them. Make sure you put a pinhole in them. Now, what he has done is he has screenshotted that tiny little messenger thing where all I was doing was giving something I was going to throw away to his kid after a huge sob story. And that is the only other thing besides them saying the Imperial Commissary logo is repro That is the only other thing that they always post up about me, is the one time I tried to help somebody, and then he became such a dirtbag and tried to sell that repro that I kicked him out of the IC. So now that PM comes up all the time. It's from 8 years ago. So that's why I dislike repro. That's why I hate repro. All it does is hurt people. It's been a hassle for me. It's certainly been a hassle for this poor lady. It's been a hassle for you guys. And you know the only people it's not a hassle for? The repro makers. And you know why? Because when you're pulling in 50, 60, 70, 80,000, $1 million a year, and you got a conglomerate with 15 people running your repro garbage because there is so much money in reproduction items, you turn into a bad person. You can't play it off like you're trying to help the collectors for the fans. It's not for the fans. They're making fake Luke Skywalkers now. Fake whatchamacallits here. What is this? Luke Stormtroopers. It's crazy. It's completely nuts. And why are they making it? Here's a real Luke Stormtrooper. How do you tell the difference? You can't. You can't. Well, you kind of can if you look at it really hard and you go check the forums and you look for the tiny variations in the mold. But why make this? Just to steal from people. Just to steal from people. It's so unacceptable. Why make a Luke Stormtrooper helmet that looks so on? The Luke Stormtrooper helmet repro, you used to be able to tell there was a circle here. They have removed the circle for the new rendition. Why? Why remove the circle? Why should you remove the circle? Here, let me get the camera to zoom back in properly. But why remove the circle from the back of this? Explain to me, what does that do for play value or nostalgia? I don't know how to break this one. It's super hard. That's what fire is for. But I mean, they even have copied the interior. I don't know how to break this here. Can't even break it with my teeth. I don't know how to break this. We'll get back to that one. But I'll destroy it. Just need something stronger. I'm sure a hammer will work. DT Luke's. Fake. Fake. Baby, don't worry. If I'm ever gone, this is worth, $2,000. Just $2,000, This one's worth another grand. This one right here, baby, this is super duper special. This one's gonna pay for the house. This one's worth like 15 grand. It's not. It's fake. They're all fake. Why aren't they painted? Why do they float? Why do they float? Give me one valid reason why repro floats now. Please. Somebody out there. Why are there blue ones and black ones? Why are they the same color plastic all the way through? Somebody out there explain to me why repro floats now for one valid reason besides the fact that they're stealing money from collectors. They are robbing people left and right. That's what they're doing. They're stealing. They are thieves, and they are the worst kind of thieves because they take something like nostalgia and your love of something that's pure like Star Wars, and they use that against you. They use that against you, and then they try to play it off like it's okay. Now, I see there's a million comments, and I haven't really watched the comments, so I apologize. But that's because I'm a little bit frustrated, and it's an awful lot of fake stuff to cut through. So, I'm going to finish cutting this up. I'm going to throw out all the repro. I encourage you to do the same. If you don't know what is repro, what is not repro, please reach out to somebody. Please talk to other people on the IC. Please triple and quadruple check before you do what I'm doing. But I know for a fact everything that I'm cutting up is fake. And that means it has to come off the market. No matter how much it may be fake valuable, no matter how much one day somebody could be able to get a couple grand for it because they tricked somebody that doesn't know any better, no matter how much you think it is worth or how much you like it or how much it is for your collection, I'm sorry. But repro is bad for this hobby. It is bad for people. And is bad for Joan. And all the Joans out there. It is a tragedy. It is unbelievably bad. And I do not like it. And there is the IC's official position. I will read some comments here. Here, let me just get some of this garbage off my desk. Solution to repro. Here's my solution to repro. Are you ready? They're Power of the Force 2 weapons. They're dirt cheap. You want nostalgia? You want playability? Power of the Force 2 weapons. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Rex Moore with the Motley
That's
Fool
playability.
on a BMW self-driving.
1 second, I'm trying to skip the BMW self-driving ad. But look, what's wrong with that? It's not repro, it's cheap. You can certainly use your imagination with it. Boba Fett has a lightsaber. I really don't like when people rob other people. And it's super duper sad when they leave somebody else holding the bag to all their fake garbage. Literally garbage. This is just garbage. It all has to go into the dumpster. Because it's garbage. So anyway, that is the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Don't fall into the scams. Don't think repro is an elitist thing. Every single Star Wars collection is as good as the next, as long as there are not fakes. As soon as there are fakes, then you are trying to fake something. Be happy with who you are. Be happy with the collection you have made and grown yourself. Each collection is a fingerprint. It is a mirror image of our souls. And if you do repro and you fill it with repro, you are corrupting yourself and those around you, and you're hurting yourself and those around you. No matter what, I love you all. I would read the comments, but to tell you the truth, I don't know. I don't want to do the video anymore. We've seen enough. It's a tragedy. If you pray, throw a prayer in for Joan, because it really sucks. And I did give her a lot more money than I should have. Have a good day. IC for life, no repro.